Alright man, so I think we need to go ahead and just clear the air with this whole Insta360 thing. Because y'all already know, I ain't a hater, my hood will never let me be a hater, so let's just air this out right now. These are 5 reasons that you should buy the Insta360 One Rs, but also 5 reasons why you might want to pass. The first reason to buy the Insta360 One Rs is the price. Because if you're looking to cop some new action drip, if you're just getting the 4K mod alone, it's only gonna run you about $299. And I'm not gonna lie, that is a pretty good price, especially for new tech drip bows. But now on the other side, if you are looking to cop the 360 mod, then yeah, it's gonna cost you some racks. All right, now the next reason you might wanna cop the Insta360 One Rs is the modular design. Cause you see, for Insta360, it ain't a game out here on these streets for them. They were the first ones to come out with a modular design, and when they did, they brought out all the lenses. It ain't a game. Ain't nobody plugged in to the PS5 on their team, unlike DJI. Where my mods at, man? Like, seriously, what y'all doing? So yes, if you buy the Insta360 One Rs, you have 3 options. And in my opinion, these 3 options are actually pretty good. Because with like a flick of the wrist, you have an action camera, a 360 camera, and then a full 1-inch sensor action camera. That's gangsta. So if you just out doing what thugs do, but then you feel it extra dangerous, pop that action mod off and put on the 1-inch mod, and boom, you good Gucci. And now the next reason that you might want to buy the Insta360 One Rs is the updates. Again, ain't nobody playing games over at Insta360. They bring the sauce when it comes to updating their cameras. Matter of fact, I can wholeheartedly say Insta360 is like the only company that kinda updates their apps as well as their cameras regularly size apps. So in my experience, if you are just worried about them just kinda like forgetting the camera, like DJI did with the Pocket 2, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, you don't have. Their app game as well as their customer service and their updating game it's 100p. Oh man, look, it is raining like crazy out here. I was gonna go out and get a coffee. Actually, speaking of coffee, we have to thank today's coffee sponsor, my dude, my ninja over at Idea Studio Bank. Man, huge shout out to you for buying the coffee. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for sponsoring today's video. I'm sure you already know this, but I gotta say it, you are a ninja boss. And my ninjas, you already know, if you wanna buy me a coffee, don't be shy. The link is down below because it helps out the channel a lot. So now moving on to the next reason that you might want to pick up the Insta360 One Rs, and that is if you want an action camera as well as a 360 camera. Because if you honestly think about it though, if you cop a really good action camera like the GoPro Hero 10 or the Dji Action 2, and then also looking to cop a good 360 camera, my ninjas, you will save quite a bit of money just by getting the Insta360 One Rs Twin Edition, which comes with the 4K mod as well as the 360 mod. And the last reason has to be the new processor as well as the 1/2-inch sensor in the 4K mod. If you've had the OG Insta360 One R, then you know that it was a bit sluggish, as well as you had to process all the footage because you were not getting stabilization in your footage straight out of the camera, which meant that you had to spend a lot more time just to actually get and view the footage even before you even touched it in editing. But with the new processor, that is no longer the case. You get in built-in stabilization like right away. Bops. So now those are 5 reasons why you might want to pick up the Insta360 One Rs, but now though, I gotta go hard in the paint and tell you 5 reasons why you might not want to. Just remember though, I ain't a hater. My hood would never let me be a hater. Okay, so now we gotta go hard in the paint on 5 reasons why you shouldn't buy the Insta360 One Rs. Why maybe you might want to pass. Okay, this BMW is sick. Like not for nothing, I could rock that. First thing I'm gonna have to say is the image quality. The image quality is a bit of a letdown. I don't know, I was just expecting it to be a lot better, especially with a 1/2-inch sensor. And now correct me if I'm wrong, pimpin', but isn't a 1/2-inch sensor bigger than like the GoPro and the DJI Action 2 and the Pocket? Like, isn't it? So why on earth is the image quality not bringing the sauce? I looked at some DJI Action footage, like the first one, and man, I will even have to go ahead and say the image quality on the DJI Action 1 looks better than the Insta360 One Rs. The next reason reason why you might want to actually take a pass on the Insta360 One RS has to be the new built-in stabilization. Like, it's not hidden, which is surprising because Insta360 usually does a great job with their stabilization. Like, I've always said it, even in the Go 2, the stabilization is great. It's usually the one thing that always holds up. Insta360 was somebody not to really mess with when it came to stabilization. But with this whole built-in stabilization, with the new processor and core and all that, huge miss. And now you may notice that I brought up the Dji Action 1, and that's because the Dji Action 1 is also outdated. But to me, it's probably the best camera to compare it to. And that says a lot. That brings up the next point, which is the Insta360 One RS feels outdated. And now I have said this in like other videos, but it feels like it should have come out maybe a year before. Like, it should have come out a year ago. I don't know what they were thinking bringing that out this year. I would have just passed. For example, when I first shot in 6K, right? From the moment I pressed record, it took 50 seconds for me to catch that purple glitch. And if it were me, I would not have released the camera like it. I mean, it already had enough bugs. Why? That's a big bug. And now the next reason you might want to pass on the Insta360 One RS has to be its usability. I have to duck under here. It's starting to rain a bit more. Don't want to get the Sony too wet. Usability. Like, what do I mean by that? Well, simply, I mean actually using the camera itself. Like, it's not complicated, but it's not smooth. And although it's not complicated, the menus are a bit, like, it's a bit weird. Oh, you can be the video there. Oh man, people are awesome. Now look, before I say the last con, a lot of this stuff may not bother you. It's just, after using other things, especially like just comparing it to the Dji Action 1, I'm spoiled. And I just always feel like there should be things that reviewers should say. And with that said, that's actually a great way to segue into my final reason why you might want to pass on the Insta360 One RS. All the chairs are hold up. Okay. Well, thank you. If you guys want to buy me a coffee, don't be shy pimping. The link is down below. I give you permission to buy me a coffee anytime. Alright, so now let's get into the last reason why you might want to pass on the Insta360 One RS, and that has to be Insta360's marketing. See, after being extremely disappointed in the Insta360 One R and its 1-inch mod, along with the Insta360 Go 2, I bought both of those cameras being extremely disappointed, and the reason I bought them was because of reviews that I saw. Let me explain. See, because in these reviews, they made the camera seem like something that it wasn't. And what I mean by that is, if you go back and check out any of the initial reviews that people put out, you'll notice that something that a lot of people that just forgot to mention is how long it took to process this footage. And if I'm being real, this is something that you could find out in like an hour. But yet, everyone forgot to mention it. And I noticed that is the trend. The trend seems to be to hype up all the good stuff and leave out all of the bad stuff. And I'm talking about like all the bad stuff that a consumer would actually care about. I personally think that what a lot of these creators should do is flat out state the flaws of these cameras right off the bat. Let the audience as well as other consumers know what's going on, and simply just back it up by saying, but Insta360 has such a great reputation of updating their cameras as well as a 100-point score in customer service. So I promise these cameras will be updated regularly. If the creators that were sponsored or like given the camera actually said these things, along with pointing out how amazing Insta360's customer service and updates are, like if they did all these things, this would change it for me. But until then, the marketing is a problem. The marketing is a reason that you may not want to rock the Insta360 One Rs. And if you think I'm lying or you want to test my gangster, just go look at any review that was sponsored by Insta360 on the Insta360 One Rs, and I bet money you will not find not one that mentions the glitches in 6K. Look, I looked and it's just not there. It only took me about a minute to figure out that there was a glitch in 6K. So I'm sure all these other people have had the exact same problem, but nobody mentions it. I mean, you don't play with people's money like that. But look, that's just my opinion. What do you guys think though? I think that was the last thing I had. And yeah, I mean, I think that those are the reasons why you should not buy Insta360, but also there are a lot of good reasons why you should. But again, what do you guys think? Like them comments up, letting me know. And also, you know what? Let me know what camera you are rocking, especially if it's an action camera or the DJI Pocket 2, or you know what, any camera. Let me know in the comments below. But my ninjas, that is it. I gotta hop into a meeting, so I will catch you in the next one.